Hello everybody, this is Carla and this time I'm back with a review for the Midseason finale of Gotham. This is episode 11 of season 2 and it's titled Worse Than a Crime, and I don't even know. I mean, there were a lot of things in this episode that I liked. There were some things that it just make me roll my eyes so bad. So I'm gonna start with the parts of it that I liked. I really liked Bruce, because they had me fooled. Like, for the most part of this episode, I thought that Silver's plan was going to work, and that Bruce would be all like, oh, you want to help me? You know, maybe you're not as bad as you seem. I didn't think he was going to fall in love with her or anything, but I thought he was going to, he wasn't going to realize that she was tricking him. I was very glad to see he didn't. Because, Bruce has been a point of contention for me. For a while, because he just, this whole Silver thing, he seemed to get in so over his head with that, and he couldn't really see, he totally fell for her act at first. So I was really scared that they would do that this time around again, because by now he shouldn't trust her. I mean, he knows her. He shouldn't trust her for anything. He knows what she is and who she is. And I thought they would. And I was setting myself up for disappointment, and I'm very glad that I didn't. I mean, I like that he still didn't want her to die. I guess that's a very Bruce Wayne thing. And I can see him, because he's a kid. He doesn't want anybody to die. So I can see him, maybe later on, when he's more grown up in the Batman persona, he's going to, be a little bit harsher about that stuff. It's like, if you're not with me, then I don't have to save you, kind of thing, that I actually liked from the previous episode. But I like that young Bruce Wayne isn't as harsh about his decisions regarding people's lives, because he's just a kid. He doesn't want to see anybody die, even if he doesn't care for Silver as they expected him to care. He still doesn't want her to die. So that was good. And the cult thing, I kind of started groaning by the time they started chanting. I'm like, the chanting was a bit much, but I liked the way they handled it. I mean, it wasn't as cheesy as I was expecting. And again, to me, maybe it's just me, but to me they came up more as kind of bodyguards than an actual cult. I could see the priest actually trying to push it as a cult in order to get idiot people, to follow him. But it was clear to me that it wasn't really, Gallivan didn't really think there was a prophecy. He just wanted his freaking, fortune and power back. And the cult was kind of his line of bodyguards, in a sense. The people who did his dirty work for him, in a way. So I like that. I like that it wasn't as cheesy as I was expecting it to be. I really liked Lee, and I really liked Barnes in this, because I think they know they have a good kind of a good perception of where the line is crossed. Okay, some things you have to do, but some things you shouldn't ever do. And I like that. I like that Barnes was still okay, Gordon is a fugitive, even if I like him, even if I'm gonna hear him out, he's still a freaking fugitive, so we have to bring him in. And I like that Lee, but the moment Lee saw that he was working with Penguin, she was like, nope, this isn't right, nope, back off, let's just get away from this, because this dude is, brainwashing you or something, and you shouldn't hang around with him. I love that. And somebody had to tell Jim the truth. Now, about the whole baby thing, okay, I can kind of see it, because they, Warren Karen is actually pregnant. She's actually in a relationship with with Ben McKenzie, who plays Jim. They're in a real relationship, and she's actually pregnant, so I'm not surprised, because I figured they would find a way to, like, bring in the pregnancy into the Gotham storyline somehow. I mean, it's something that's been known to happen in other shows, so I wasn't shocked. I don't know, I'm curious as to what they're gonna do with that, because if they truly do intend on, like, following canon, which I don't think they do, because, I mean, Barbara's way too far gone for that, I would like to think. If they do intend on, following canon, which I don't think they do, but still, like, Gordon's, kids, he should have kids with Barbara, technically, which I don't think is gonna happen, but, I don't know, I'm kind of curious as to see what they do with that. Like, is she going to have a girl who will maybe kind of sort of go on to be Batgirl and the Oracle? I mean, like, I don't know, I'm just curious, because I don't know that this pregnancy will actually pan out, honestly. Like, I'm halfway expecting them to just, like, have something happen to her and have her lose the baby, or even have her die at some point. Like, I don't think the pregnancy is going to pan out. Like, that's my first instinct right now. So I'm curious to see where they're taking this. And another thing I liked was Tabitha finally freaking, standing up for herself. Like, all this time, like, one of my greatest complaints about her is that she's such a badass. Like, she's the one who can fight, like, for real. Like, she's the one people should really be afraid of, while her brother, for the most part, was, like, the guy with the power and the guy with the ideas and the guy with the plan, but he wasn't really the brute force. And it always kind of rubbed me the wrong way that Tabitha was just taking that, It's like, taking orders from your brother, really? I mean, I know you might care about him or whatever, he's your brother, but from there to just be like a lackey, I thought she could be more than that. So I like that she finally stepped up and was like, no, you know what? I'm not taking your crap anymore. I didn't like the idea that she kind of did it for Silver, because I don't think necessarily that she's so attached to Silver that she would do that. I just think she kind of had enough of her brother bossing her around, and I mean, I liked it, but at the same time, I wish it had happened earlier, because otherwise she just seems like really wishy-washy. It's like, okay, now you lost, so bye-bye with you, I'm just gonna do my own thing now. It's like, why didn't you do that before? You would think that she's strong enough to actually, overpower her brother at some point, or demand that they be more of a partnership rather than her being his lackey. So, I mean, I like that she finally went that way. I don't like that, that it took so long, really. That's about kind of what I liked. Oh, and Harvey, because Harvey is amazing. I love Harvey. He always makes me laugh, like when they were going up the stairs. And he was like, there's so many stairs. Oh my god, I'm like, Harvey, I get you. I totally get you. And then, of course, because he was going up slower, he arrived just in time to actually, save Jim again. Another thing I noticed is, props to the casting people. I had actually noticed this before, but this time, because they were, like, standing right beside each other, it really struck me that the actress who plays Tabitha and the actress who plays Silver, they look so alike. Like, seriously, just the shape of their face, the shape of their lips, they look so alike. And I don't like Silver very much, but I like the girl playing her. Like, I think she's a cool girl, a good actress, and she's so beautiful, man. This whole episode, like, the only thing I wasn't even paying attention to the dialogue happening on screen, because I was so busy staring at her hair. Her hair is so pretty. But I basically just, I'm very impressed by the casting, because they really do look alike. So I thought that was interesting. They certainly look more closer to each other than they do than they do with Galvan, so that's actually rather interesting. And I think that was about it for the things that I liked. On the other hand, there were also a lot of things that I didn't like. For example, I still don't like Silver as a character. Like I said, I like the actress. I think she's good, and I think she has a good future. But at the same time, I just don't like the character. I didn't like that she actually fell in love with Bruce. I mean, it's very predictable. It's been done before so many times. I wish she would have actually been bad, you know? I almost wish that she had been bad and had failed at actually seducing him. And Theo was going to kill her anyway for failing, rather than Theo wanting to kill her because she fell in love with Bruce. I mean, I get the whole thing that she's a teenage girl and whatever, and I really liked the speech Bruce gave her, about there still being hope and whatever, but I think by the time you're 15, it's kind of difficult to actually change what you've been taught and what you believe. I don't know, I mean, there's always hope. I liked that Bruce said that, but I don't like that she was good. I thought she was great as a bad girl, honestly. I mean, it's one of those things where, I don't want to like my bad guys. It's a pet peeve of mine, and I think her falling in love kind of brought her down a bit in my eyes. I mean, I never liked her all that much, but I wish she could have gone out in style, maybe fighting like Tabitha, kind of. So I didn't like the fact that she, in the end, actually fell in love with Bruce. I didn't like, for the most part, this whole episode. It's like the subtitle of this episode could have been just Jim Gordon, because he just when you think he's going to do the right thing, he goes and does completely the wrong thing. So I freaking hope that Lee actually tells him no at this point, because I'm really mad at him. I'm like, what the hell are you thinking? Like, seriously? I thought he was going to do the right thing. I thought he was going to put Gallivan in jail. And then Penguin came in, and he didn't even say all that, but he wasn't even that convincing. But Jim was just so, because Gallivan was, again, goading him. And really, Jim should have known, because this time they had Bruce Wayne as a freaking witness, and Bruce Wayne isn't going to take it back like the former mayor did. So, come on, they had the proof. They could have taken him to trial and thrown him in jail, and there was, like, what else could they have done? I think he should have just listened to Lee, done the right thing, listened to Barnes, and just taken him into custody. But no. Once again, Penguin got into his brain and convinced him that Gallivan needed to die. And okay, Jim didn't exactly kill him. Like, I saw it as a mercy kill of sorts. Gallivan was already so beaten up that there was no other choice but just put a bullet through his brain. That's whatever, save him the pain and just make it quick. But still, I just don't like the idea that he didn't fight harder to keep Penguin from killing him. Just put him in freaking jail, man. It's not that difficult. Oh, I don't know. At this point, I'm really hoping that Lee actually rejects him, like turns down his proposal, because I don't think Jim is at the right state of mind at the moment. I don't know, I mean, I guess I can see why Lee would have forgiven him for killing that one guy the first time around, because I do think that Jim needed to be, I mean, I don't think so, but I can see how she thinks that Jim being a cop is the best thing for Gotham. But there's a line. You can do it once, you don't do it twice, man. That's just asking for it, and I really hope that she turns him down, because he doesn't deserve it, and if he hasn't told her the actual truth, that's even worse. Because like Barbara said, the whole the trust in the relationship is the most important thing, and you don't want to bring a child into a world where your husband, boyfriend, whatever is, hanging around with known criminals and, gangsters and stuff. And Penguin is insane. And may I just ask, why did nobody in this entire episode question the fact that Enigma was hiding Penguin? Like, really? I mean, I doubt Penguin would just hide in someone's place without knowing him or having something in common with him, let alone Enigma, who's supposed to be a really good guy. So has nobody thought about this? Like, no, I mean, I know things were happening, but I hope it comes up in the future, that Enigma was actually helping Penguin. Like, there should be a reason for this. Maybe look him up. Look up his, his relationships and etc. And maybe run him through, like, a couple psych tests or something, because if he just goes free without anybody ever questioning that, I don't like it at all. And just the entire thing. I mean, I hated the fact that Bruce got kidnapped just one episode after he pretended to be kidnapped. Like, really? You couldn't have thought of something else? It's very repetitive and it's lazy writing, and I'm just like, yeah, what happened? I was happy to see Lucius back, and I was happy that he was trying to be the voice of reason, and then Penguin just comes in with this, like, failure is not an option, really jokey. I was like, what the heck is this dialogue? Are you serious? And Jim's just like, yeah, sure, what he said. Are you serious? Oh. If you're gonna use Lucius, use him well. Damn it. I don't know. There was something else I was gonna say and I keep forgetting. But just, there are things this episode did right, and there are things this episode just frustrates me, and I sure hope that the whole Jim Gordon thing, going into the dark side, idea is, I mean, I know they have to add drama somehow, but how many times is this gonna happen? Because he can have his doubts once or twice before he becomes a completely unlikable jerk. It can't happen at every other turn. They have to come up with something else to add drama. And I know, it's a gangster show and whatever, so you have to kind of go back to that darkness, but still, just, at some point you just have to think, okay, Jim, you're just an idiot. And you just have some kind of death wish, and it just, I know I'm feeling the way they wanted me to feel, I guess, so that in a sense that's good writing, but at the same time, this might just make people tired of the show. Like, if you keep going back down the same path, and it just never ends, and he keeps going back to Penguin over and over again, it's just, I'm not seeing any progression here. It's been 2 seasons, and it's happened like 4 times already. There's gotta be something else. There's gotta be some other way to bring drama into Jim Gordon's life. And he was doing well, and this is just a relapse for me. It's not progression at all, and characters have to progress, and if you eventually want to get to the point where Jim Gordon in the show is the Jim Gordon that we know, I'm not seeing it, because he keeps going back to the darkness, and that's not, at least make it more difficult for him. I mean, is every time he kills someone going to be about revenge? And Penguin, like, I'm fine with Galvin dying. I thought he had to die. That's great. And it's good that Penguin got his revenge. And maybe this time around he will become the king of Gotham that he thought he was in the previous season. But still, Oh, another thing I didn't like. What the heck are they doing with Alfred, dude? Like, last time he was fighting Tabitha head to head and actually keeping up with her. And I was cheering for him because Alfred, he's been touted as this, ex-military guy. He should know this stuff. He should know how to fight people. And then this whole episode, it's like, it begins with him, hiding in a garbage disposal, place or whatever, like in a garbage place, and it was just so jokey. It was so stupid and jokey, really. And it just made me mad. It's like, you're gonna hype him up in one episode and then just forget about it in the next one. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm a little disappointed in this episode. I did like the way things ended up. I liked the way Gallivan died. I liked that Gallivan died, not necessarily the way, but just the fact that he died. I liked that Bruce came out, stronger in a way. I liked that Tabitha went off on her own. I hope it's not the last time we see her, because I think she has potential. She just had to get away from her brother's shadow. And then in the end, we have a hint of, again, Indian Hill, which is interesting. And we have a hint at Mr. Freeze, I guess. At the beginning, I thought it would be Bridget again, with the flamethrower or whatever. And then he started actually freezing things. And I was like, oh, Mr. Freeze, that's interesting. I hope they do good things with him in the future, because so far this whole Rise of the Villains thing hasn't been the greatest idea. I mean, I thought Nigma was going down a good way, and then it just kind of stalled. So I hope they go down a good path with Mr. Freeze. So that was interesting, but there were so many things in this episode that just made me kind of shake my head and sigh, because I can't understand why they keep going back to that same plot over and over again. It's really, I don't know. So that was it for the mid-season finale. It wasn't the greatest for me. Didn't necessarily go off with a bang, although I am happy that the Gallivan arc is over with, and I hope this leads to more things with Bruce, especially since, now he was told that his family was corrupt or whatever. I hope he goes down that path. I hope they use Lucius for good things in the future when it comes to Bruce. I'm glad the silver thing is over. I don't know, it wasn't the greatest mid-season finale. I hope that the series comes back strong, because it has been strong. The previous episodes were good, for the most part. I mean, save for a few exceptions. They were okay, and this season has been better than the previous one. I just wish this had ended with more of an oomph, I guess, and that this episode didn't have as many flaws as it did. We'll see. I mean, I'm curious as to what's going to happen to Jim. I mean, last we see, Barnes was trying to take him in, right? Because he's a fugitive, but he wouldn't have it. And then Penguin knocks out Barnes. And then next we see Jim is out and asking Lee to marry him. And I'm like, whatever happened to that arrest warrant? Should you be in jail? Are we supposed to assume that the interrogation that was meant to happen already happened? So I don't know. It wasn't the best finale. There were good things, but there were also a lot of bad things that I didn't like. So for the most part, I'm just kind of whatever about this episode. I hope things get back on track after the break. But all I can say is I'm really not happy at Jim Gordon right now. I'm really not very enthused about where he's going or what he's going to do. So I guess we'll see when the show comes back. And that's about it for me. Remember, if you guys want to see more reviews for Gotham, be sure to check out our website at thegeekypub.com. We have reviews for the previous season and this season, so be sure to check that out. And also we have reviews for other TV shows, books, movies. We have a ton of stuff in there, so be sure to stop by and visit. And as always, remember that if you guys want to be notified when our reviews go up, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because that's where they go up first. We have them up on YouTube before they hit the website, sometimes a couple of days before they hit the website, so be sure to subscribe. to our YouTube channel so that you will be notified whenever we upload a new review. And that's about it for now, so I will see you guys in my next review. Bye!